Well, it started out, I actually was having a little pain and I felt it. And I had asked one of my coworkers, I said, could you take a look at this? And so she did. And she said, have you had a mammogram? And I said, no, I've never had one. So she goes, I think you need to go get it checked out. And sure enough, went through all the whole process and they told me March 3rd that it was cancer.
So I have implants and I felt a really weird lump that was harder than I would normally feel. It felt like the size of a golf ball is the way I can describe it. So I ended up going through the process of getting a mammogram, and they did whatever scans it was, and then they did a biopsy of my breast and my lymph nodes, which came back positive.
So when he told me, my mind went in thousands of directions. I just didn't even know where to begin or where to start. And then, of course, I had to turn to family and friends to get some advice or direction of what to do and where to go. So it was a lot. It was a lot to process.
With my kids, I wanted to make sure, for sure, I had cancer before I brought it up to them. So I did tell them the truth that it can be ultimately deadly if it's not caught on time. So they had known that in the past. With me, I was very matter of fact. I did not cry because I didn't want that to affect them. And they responded well. I wasn't overly concerned because I felt like if they wanted to talk to me about it, then they would, which they ended up doing.
It was very emotional, especially my children. My son, my son, he's very into computers, so he went right to the computer. And he said, but Mom, you have such and such percentage of living, so that was very gut-wrenching that he was at that age to process that. So it was hard. It was very hard. My children was the worst to let them know. My husband, he just was 100% behind me of whatever he could do or whatever I could do or whatever decision I made. He was there to be with me. So my children was the hardest.
I had a lot of change happen at one time. So I got sick and my rent was my biggest problem. It was time for school, so the kids needed school clothes. My rent went up a couple $100 in like 1 month. So those are some burdens that I had to face that had to work out. I have to have a place to stay, and my kids have to be dressed, and I'd like them to look nice.
Well, I had recommendations. I had a best friend who told me all about this, and at first I didn't want to because I know that there's people out there that have a harder life and a harder journey than I do. But then I was missing work, and of course, it was all on my husband, so I kind of bite the bullet and wrote to them, and then they contacted me, and it went from there. So they've been a big help. I mean, it was tremendous help. They even sent my children gift cards for Target, so when they started school, I was able to get their supplies and shoes, and of course, at Target you can get everything, so it was just, it was really bite the bullet and connected with them, so I was very appreciative of that. I can't thank them enough, really.
once I found the foundation to be able to help me, I was extremely thankful for the Breast Cancer Foundation of Central Florida. They were able to help me with 2 months worth of rent and gift cards for my kids. I think the foundation has given me hope to be able to continue living in the home that I have and I've had where my kids are comfortable. That was a huge burden because I would not have been able to afford it if they had not helped me.
Moving forward, I just hope for the best, and in return, when I get to where I can, I'm also going to, do the 5Ks and do what I can to help as well. So I can't wait to get 100% because I'm going to give as well.
So I'm just happy. I'm happy. Even through everything, going to the hospital for chemo, I was so happy because I knew that was one step closer to getting better.